Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. Thank you so much for joining me again this evening. It is 7 p.m. on the East Coast, so here I am, Tuesday, last weekend today, where I'll be talking about things that happen in the news and kind of commenting on those. And it's Tuesday, which sometimes it seems I'm constantly on my governor. Tuesdays with Andy. Yes, we're going to see that. And if you want to watch that, some of you really love that, I will be showing and talking, showing his last, one of his last press conferences, and chatting about it a bit tonight. Please like, comment, share, let people know this is happening, of course. And as I ask you every time, if you've got the cash, please support the show, patreon.com/sharpeway. Whatever you got that you can support, I appreciate it. It helps me keep this going even during tough times for all of us. But if you can't, no worries. As always, it's always a free option. Absolutely. Go to theadvocates.org. Send that to your friends and family during this time. See how libertarian they are, or maybe they're not. It's okay either way. Happy to support the sponsor, theadvocates.org. And of course, if you are a CBD user, please head over to grownselection.com, libertarian-owned company. Make your purchase Sharpe Way 20 for 20% off. So I almost every single Tuesday now, it's almost like His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo II, oh hail the king, is writing or trying to make my job easier. I mean, he's making my job a whole lot easier. It is sad how he just keeps saying things, hey Jeremy, and it keeps becoming easier and easier for me to do a show. I literally just put his stuff on, comment, and it's insanely done because he doesn't even see how bad he is. My governor was talking recently during a press conference regarding the new shutdowns that he has, the lockdowns we have across New York State. 10 p.m., 10 is the magic number. 10 p.m., no more than 10 people at a table, no more than 10 people in your home. Oh my God, no more than 10 people ever. And it's a law now, even though it's a mandate. And now we have sheriffs all across the country, by the way. New York, Washington, Wisconsin, Michigan, all of them are deciding, I don't want to follow these mandates. I don't want to enforce these mandates. I don't want to go into people's homes and start counting heads. That's not what I want to do, right? That's not what I want to do. I get it. And they're mad. And here is His Majesty's response to their anger. The people who, how dare them not listen to and obey the king. This is response. I think you will love this.
It's either impossible to.
He's asking about people who are saying it's impossible to enforce this mandate. What's your reaction?
Also, congratulations on the International Emmy.
And he also then brings up congratulations on the International Emmy. Yes, my governor won an Emmy, so I know.
Reaction to that as well.
Thank you. Let me write this down because those are two different things.
Let me write this down, he says.
Yes. That's the underlying point of this discussion.
The underlying point.
You have this is an emotional time.
This is an emotional time. And I'm glad the one thing you will find him constantly saying is being Captain Obvious and sounding like he is a scholar, like he's a sage guy. I literally, I climbed a mountain and he was on top of the mountain, cross-legged like this. And I walked up, I said, oh, Swami, please give me wisdom. And he goes, it's an emotional time. Whoa.
Political time. Everybody has their own strongly held opinion.
Everyone has those opinions. Oh, just this time.
You have a strongly held opinion that says,
tell me what it says.
COVID is all an overreaction. It's a hoax.
It's all overreaction or a hoax. That's one side. That's the only side.
I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not following these rules.
Not doing it.
You have sheriffs upstate.
Where's the other side? Oh, this is just the bad side? Okay. And sheriffs upstate, because, upstate, those are the bad people.
Who have said,
yeah,
I'm not going to enforce the law.
That's not what they said. See, they said they're not going to enforce your mandate. Your mandate's not a law. However, He seems to think it is. And this is a point that I want to bring up real fast if I could. No one's dealing with that very important issue. The issue that a mandate is not a law. They're not the same. They can't be the same. They aren't the same. And he acts like it is. And that's a piece that I have to keep bringing up. It's not a law.
Now, how a law enforcement officer says, I choose not to enforce that law.
How a law enforcement officer says, I choose not to enforce that law. Watch his logic.
I believe that law enforcement officer violates his or her constitutional duty.
He said, his words, that if he won't enforce my personal dictate, that he has broken his oath, his constitutional duty. His constitutional duty. Does he know what the constitutional duty of a sheriff is? What any executive or member of the executive branch's oath actually says? I know. I'm a veteran. Anyone who was in the military is military. We were absolutely part of the executive branch. In this case, the federal executive branch. And our oath is always the same. To protect and defend the Constitution, not an individual. That's the actual oath. That's the actual oath, not whatever he says. The actual oath is that. And some of you may not believe that. So I wanted to show you that there's a part of a sheriff's oath. And this is actually, I'm going to screenshot this so you see this. This is an actual sheriff's oath. He will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution laws of the state wherein he is elected. And he will faithfully discharge all the duties of office of sheriff to the best of his ability, concluding by calling upon God to help him. That's the actual oath. That's the actual oath. I didn't see he will do whatever His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo II says. I don't see that part there. Maybe I missed it. It's possible I'm wrong. But I didn't see that. That's what he actually said. This drives me crazy. That's not what it's about. But he's not done. He's not done.
I don't consider them a law enforcement officer.
See, I've decided they're not. Even though sheriffs are elected officials that the people voted for. He doesn't consider them that because he's the king and he decides what's right.
Because you don't have the right to pick laws that you think you will enforce, and you don't enforce laws that you don't agree with.
Is that right? You have no right? There's something that's called, I don't know, professional discretion that you used when you were actually a district attorney, when you were top cop, when you were prosecuting people. You mean to tell me you enforced every single law? Every one of them? You didn't decide which ones are more important. You didn't use your discretion? That's literally what you do.
Right. That's not a law enforcement officer.
What is that?
That's a dictator.
Yes, I know some of your heads literally just exploded. Please put that back. Yes, this man, my governor, who was yelling that mandates and do as I say, that man just said, you can't do that or you're a dictator. Pot, meet kettle. Kettle, meet pot. He actually said that. He said the other people are dictators, not me, the guy who makes up random rules and does whatever he wants and gets mad at people who don't do what he says. That guy, the other guy's a dictator, not him. Yeah.
So you're not a law enforcement officer.
You're not that. I don't know what you are.
You can't pick and choose.
You can't.
And if that's the way you run your law enforcement
agency,
I don't consider it a law enforcement agency.
Oh, so the whole agency is irrelevant. So now all you sheriffs, you're irrelevant because you won't listen to one of my mandates. You are now irrelevant. Doesn't matter. What if you're, and I go back to this all the time, what if you're an undocumented worker? Oh, that one you can ignore. That's fine. Then you're a good law enforcement officer. Not that I'm saying we should be picking up all undocumented workers. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he would say that in a heartbeat. That's it. Then you're fine. But when I announce things, you will follow them, because your crime when you don't listen to His Majesty is heresy. And that crime is unforgivable. That crime is unforgivable. But yeah, let people do whatever they want. Totally fine. But not when I say so. Oh, he's not done.
God bless you.
God bless
Don't
you.
ask
God bless you, because He loves you.
me for help.
Don't ask me for help.
And I think it's a dangerous precedent.
Dangerous to not follow what I say. Every other time I want to literally ignore federal guidelines, federal orders, that's fine, not dangerous. Anytime I want my people in New York City to do whatever they want, that's not dangerous. But don't listen to me? It's dangerous. God bless you. Don't ask for my help, because now I'm going to be vindictive. He literally said, you heard him, if you don't follow all of my rules, don't ask for my help. You don't get any help. Shh, your place is burning down. You should have listened to Your Majesty. Now pay the price, peasant. He said that. I didn't make that up. You heard that.
Police officer says, well, I don't think cocaine should be illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to enforce the cocaine laws. It's not up to you.
You literally did that. No, he literally did that. People do it all the time, constantly. It is literally called professional discretion. Literally, people do that all the time. They don't prosecute this guy for drugs so they can get the other guy who they think is bigger. That's literally standard operating procedure in many police offices. I'm sorry, I guess those people aren't law officers anymore, whatever, right? So, but that you do all the time. They let this guy go to get the bigger guy. They don't prosecute him. They don't enforce the law to get somebody else. That's normal, but not just that. In certain areas, and one of the sheriffs mentioned this, his entire force for a 50,000 person county is 4 people. Him, 3 deputies. You think he can enforce every single law? Of course not. He uses discretion and decides what is going to affect the people of his county worse, and he deals with those laws. Of course he does. And so did he. And so does every police force on the planet. And so does every, attorney general. And so does every DA. They enforce the laws that they think are the ones that are the most dangerous. So some they don't. So if they thought, well, there's a guy, selling cocaine in a corner. They don't do that, but if they did. And some guy, I don't know, killing somebody. You go get the guy killing someone. The cocaine guy gets away today. Fine. All the time they deal with that. And how about marijuana laws? How about those? All the time we don't enforce them. You can't do that. You're not a police officer. Cops do it all the time. So every single time a cop pulls somebody over for speeding, they should give him a ticket. Every single time. That's what he did. Every single time. Of course not. This is just, I'm mad. The stuff he's saying is utterly and completely wrong, based on nothing. He's just being angry, and sadly, no one even thinks about it. What he's saying is clearly wrong, demonstrably incorrect, totally hypocritical.
You don't have that right.
It's not a right. It's what you do. It's what they all do.
But it's signifying.
Tell me what it signifies.
Because the upstate sheriffs, what they're doing is they're being political.
Oh, those upstate sheriffs. You know those guys. The bad guys, the upstate sheriffs. They're the bad guys. It being political. Wait a minute. Aren't they elected officials? Yeah, they kind of are. But so are you. But you know what? Everyone else is political, but not him. No, he isn't. Not at all.
The no more than 10 rule.
That's a rule or a law? Which one? Tell me. I thought it was a law.
People find intrusive.
They do. Wow. People find that no more than 10 people in their house intrusive. You are a guru. I'm so glad I came here.
Telling me in my house?
In my house?
I can't have more than 10 people? It's none of your business what I do in my home.
Right.
Now, of course it is.
Did you hear what he just said? Flippantly. Obviously. He says, you can't, what I do in my house isn't your business. And he literally leaned back and said, well, of course it is. I am your king, aren't I? Everything you own is mine, isn't it? Again, everything I'm saying about him, he comes out of his own mouth. I don't have to make this up. He does it for you happily. Just hear this again.
People, it's none of your business what I do in my home. Now, of course it is.
Yes, of course it is. Show you. Your house. I don't think that's your house, my friend. That's his house. He allows you to live in it. Thank you, King. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Laws apply in your home.
They all do.
Domestic violence applies in your home.
Yes, someone's being hurt. Yes. Someone's being beaten. Yes, that applies everywhere. Yes.
Drug laws apply in your home.
Yeah, they shouldn't,
Yes,
but
it does. Well, I'm going to celebrate Thanksgiving the way I always celebrate Thanksgiving, right? People on Staten Island.
Those Staten Island people. See that? Deborah Altman, you listening? Yeah, it's talking about you. Those Staten Island people. Who wants to talk to those people? He literally just said that because he knows Staten Island hates him. He literally said Staten Island people.
We're having the same big family Thanksgiving that we always have.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to tell me not to have a big family Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Oh, you are telling us. I love it. He says something that would seem so obvious. Like, hey, I'm sorry, Joe, you there too? Yeah, Joe, it's all about you Staten Island people. You too, Joe. Staten Island people. So he's literally saying, I want to have my Thanksgiving my way. And he's like, no, you don't get to. I'm the governor. And he's not even trying to hide it. The one thing I got to give him now, he doesn't even hide it anymore. He's like, no, I am your king. Will you just accept that? Stop it. I'm your king. And he wonders why 1.5 million Americans left New York State since he's been governor. You wonder why. I'm not surprised.
That
Go ahead, tell me.
you are responsible for your actions.
Wait, whoa. You are responsible for your actions. If that were true, you wouldn't have to pass a law, would you? You would allow us to do what's required. We would be responsible for our actions. That would be wonderful. But that's not what he's saying. What he's doing is creating a veiled threat. That's what he's doing. Do that and see what happens. That's what he means. What he means is do that and I will punish you. That's not what he says. That's what he means. Listen.
And here are the numbers.
Yep.
And the numbers don't lie.
They don't lie. You lie, but the numbers don't. This is true. You know what? You're not wrong. The numbers don't lie. You do. That's for sure. The numbers, I'm going to give you credit. You're right. Numbers don't lie. Only you do.
And this is the increase before any other increase from Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And if you increase social activity, then you're going to see the number go further up.
Okay.
I said to one person, I had a conversation with somebody on Staten Island.
Some Staten Island people. Joe, what's wrong with you people on Staten Island? Why are you messing with my man here? All you Staten Island people. Joe messing with him. Deborah messing with him. These Staten Island people. I don't know if I can go back on the island again. You people are so mean and nasty. God. He's talking to some Staten Island guy. I don't know why you would talk to somebody from Staten Island, but clearly he'll do it.
Who said, I'm not following these rules. They're all baloney.
They're all
baloney. Make your deal. I will exempt you from all the rules.
See that? What? He is a generous God. He is a generous God. He will exempt you from all the rules. He's a generous God. We are so lucky. We're so lucky to have him.
You agree. If you or anyone in your family gets sick.
Yeah. What happens?
You're purely responsible.
Oh, I'm responsible.
He said, what?
So I'm not responsible now. You're responsible if I get sick. Is that how that works? You're responsible if I get sick. Okay. I didn't know that's what happened. So if me or anyone gets sick, you're responsible? Well, look, this king thing's not so bad anymore. I mean, if I get that, I mean, maybe I'm okay with this king thing if you're responsible for everything I do. Now we can negotiate.
What do you mean? I said, if you get sick,
Yeah.
or your family gets sick,
Yeah.
you're responsible.
Yes, I'm good with that. Okay.
You stay at home and get better.
I would.
If you have to go into the hospital, you pay the bill.
Don't I pay insurance? Don't I pay that bill? Don't I have insurance? I think I have to pay that bill now. Did something change? Are you telling me you're going to pay my bills? I mean, if you're going to pay all my bills, we can discuss this whole king thing. All right.
You find a nurse to take care of you.
Isn't that why you pay the bill at the hospital to do that? Isn't that why the nurse, he or she, gets paid from the hospital with the bill that I pay or my insurance pays? I thought we already had that system. That, by the way, that you think is so great.
You find an ambulance driver who wants to drive a COVID positive person to the hospital.
Isn't that why they're driving now in ambulances now? Don't they know that already? Isn't that why they're being paid? He acts like this is all him. That without him, there'd be no hospitals. Without him, there'd be no insurance. Without him, there'd be no ambulances. Look how intense he is. He actually believes that it's his grace that gives us all these things. You wonder why I call him king. This is why. You can have all these things from me. If he really was going to give me free health care and free, pay my bills for free, be responsible for my entire family, and pay for everything, we can talk about this king thing. But he's not. He's just taking credit for everything and acting like without him, there'd be nothing.
You're responsible. Well, no.
Why no? Okay. So I guess that means I don't have to pay taxes anymore then. Right? So I pay no New York State taxes then? Is that your deal, Your Majesty? The deal is I pay no taxes because all the people you talk about on those roads and stuff, I pay taxes for all of that. And my taxes help pay your salary. And I have a business, so I pay business tax and I pay personal tax. Both. I pay city tax and I pay state tax. So I pay all types of taxes and fines and fees and my own goddamn insurance. So if you're going to tell me I don't got to pay for any of that, I'm in. But I pay for all these things to include your salary. I don't know why you think you're so amazing. 18 million New Yorkers pay for your salary, which you gave yourself a $25,000 raise for the great job you're doing. Well done. So your grace is not something I require.
I'm not doing that. I said, see. So you want to be able to act irresponsibly, but then endanger the ambulance driver.
The ambulance driver could just put a mask on me or say, don't get an ambulance without a mask. I don't know how I'm endangering him any more than anybody else would. If you get COVID, you go. What if a guy's got the flu or any staph infection? Doesn't that happen every day? Don't the ambulance drivers know this and wear rubber gloves and put on masks and protect themselves? Isn't that the normal? Who are you endangering? You're making this up.
And endanger the nurse.
And the nurse, because nurses don't know that what they're doing is dangerous. They thought they were going to come in and just hang out. You're not endangering them. They know what they're doing. That's why we admire them so much. That's why we talk about these first responders who know that they're going into the belly of the beast. They know they're doing that. I'm not endangering them because I had Thanksgiving dinner with my mom. Stop. You're making this up.
Endanger the doctor.
The doctor, because doctors assume that they're never going to get an infection. Of course, they're doctors. This is why we respect them so much, because they are endangering themselves. We know that. That's why we admire them so much. Not because they're just smart. Lots of smart people. Lots of them. Not that I don't like smart people. I do. Lots of them. But not lots of smart people put themselves in the first line of defense like medical personnel do. Yeah, they know that.
And endanger the 1199 member who has to come and change your bedding.
Oh, change your bedding. See how bad you are. How about people get sick and people who are members of those unions know what they have to? That's why they picked it. Maybe those people want to do their job. Maybe they want to. This is you're just a selfish person for not following my commands. See how evil you are? Follow my commands, peasant. Otherwise, you get nothing. Aren't we paying them through both taxes and insurance and co-pays and out-of-pockets? Aren't we paying these people? Isn't there a system that he says is the best in the world? Aren't we paying them? Now all of a sudden, everyone's doing us a favor all of a sudden? He's doing us a favor all of a sudden? No.
Because of your actions.
Your actions. You went and had Thanksgiving dinner, you freaking horrible person. You're probably from Staten Island. That's what I would bet. Staten Island people.
Not like your actions only affect you, right?
I know. Like when you say things like, you can't work anymore, and you shut an entire city and state down, Governor, and all of a sudden all our mental health facilities are overflowing. All of a sudden the CDC and WHO both say lockdowns only hurt, don't actually help at all. So when we all of a sudden have massive mental health problems and people leaving the state and people going bankrupt, and literally people at the food lines on the food banks, lines going around the corner. Your actions affect more people than mine do. A whole lot more. Tell me some more.
You act irresponsibly, you get sick. Now, 30 people are affected.
That never happened. Ever. Yet again, he just made that up. Because one person got sick, now 30 people are gonna die. No. People get sick every day, all the time. And medical personnel assist them every day, all the time, whether COVID exists or not. Is it worse during COVID? Of course it is. Absolutely. Of course it is. But this exaggeration is why people don't believe him. There's no difference in this and when the war on drugs started happening. And everyone said, if you smoke marijuana, you'll be shooting up heroin in 2 weeks. Remember that? Here's your brain on drugs. Marijuana is as bad as cocaine. Obviously, you take marijuana, you'll die. Remember that? And who believed it? Nobody. In fact, we ran to weed. The same thing. Stop exaggerating. See the truth. Talk the truth. Stop acting like it's all yours. It isn't.
Because you are infected.
See that?
Right?
No, not right. No, that was a bunch of horseshit. You made that up. Total fabrication. You made that up.
But there is no doubt that is an undercurrent, and it's in the numbers.
There's an undercurrent. See, these weird people, most from Staten Island, these weird people, it's in the numbers. Tell me about the numbers. Where were the most numbers? Tell me.
The numbers are reflecting the behavior. You look at the areas where the sheriffs say, I'm not going to enforce it.
Yeah, tell me.
Look at their infection rates.
Yeah.
Some of the highest infection rates in the country.
Go ahead, tell me. Make it up. Tell me. They have the highest infection rates in the country. Blatant lie.
In the state.
A state. Oh, sorry, state. Some of the highest. There's 62 counties. So we're in the top 50. Where were all the deaths coming from? You know what I think I would say? New York City. I thought they followed all your rules.
You look at the communities in Staten Island.
See you, Staten Island. Man, does this guy hate Staten Island? Why does this guy hate Staten Island? I've been to Staten Island. It isn't that bad, man. It really isn't. Staten Island people aren't that bad. I don't know why you hate them so much. They're not that bad. You Staten Island people. He said Staten Island 3 times, like the last 5 minutes. Wow. Joe, what did you do to this guy? Did you kick his dog or something? Man.
Say, I don't believe this is true. They have the highest infection rates in this city.
Oh, now it's in the
Is that
city.
a coincidence?
Coincidence? No, lie. No, not coincidence. Lie.
Try to see the bright side.
Had to get rid of that real fast. But no, that would be a lie, is what I would say. That's a lie, is what he said. Coincidence? No, you just made it up. So this guy just keeps going, doesn't he? He just keeps going. And man, does he hate. Does he just hate Staten Island? You know what he should do? He should relax a little bit. If he would just relax for a couple of seconds, you know what he should try? He should probably try a CBD product. That's what I think he should try. Hey, it's Larry Sharpe, host of the Sharpe Way show. Want to talk to you for a couple of seconds only about CBD products. Look, if you think that they should be part of your health regimen, or they already are, you're dealing with maybe pain or anxiety or some other issue, head on over to grownselection.com. Check them out. They're a libertarian-owned company. They understand that you own your body and should treat yourself the way you think you should be treated. Of course they do. You do too, and so do I. So head over there. Check them out. Look at their CBD products. If you think they fit your health regimen, put in Sharpe Way 20 and get 20% off your order. Look, I want you to support the Liberty Movement, libertarian-owned businesses, and the show. They're a sponsor. If CBD is or should be part of your health regimen, grownselection.com. Check them out. Purchase Sharpe Way 20 for 20% off. Support the show. Support the movement. grownselection.com. That guy's really smart. You should listen to him. But look, I want to keep going with this. He's not done. That's only like a couple minutes. I got to do a couple more with him. But man, he just doesn't stop. And the best part is the hypocrisy that most people just don't see and don't even care. But he's not done. Let me grab a couple more if I could.
On the Emmy.
On the Emmy. Oh, but those of you who don't know, he won an Emmy. Yes, he won an Emmy for doing this every day. He won an Emmy for sitting down, telling us what's obvious, lying to us, and making us afraid. Well done. I mean, I got to give the guy props. He sat in front of us every day, didn't do his job. Instead, yelled at us, called us names, insulted us, made us afraid, lied to us, and boom, got an Emmy. I'm doing something wrong. I need to learn from him.
The Emmy.
Tell me about the Emmy. Tell me.
When I first heard,
Yeah.
I was flattered by it.
You were flattered because they gave the king a gift. Wasn't that nice? That was.
But then I looked into it a little bit.
You looked because you doubted that it had much value because you realized you didn't do a damn thing. So you looked and said, "Wait a minute, is this real? Is he just pulling my leg?"
Oprah Winfrey won it. Steven Spielberg won it. Al Gore won it for Inconvenient Truth.
Now I got to tell you what I love about what he just did. This is very slick. I'm gonna give a man credit where credit is due. He acts like it's whatevs, then mentions three heavy hitters. I looked at it and, Oprah Winfrey and, these Steven Spielberg and, these heavy hitters, my peer group, who I should absolutely be compared with, even though I'm better. I'm not joking. That comes next.
Which I thought was just masterful. It is flattering, but it's also symbolic.
It's flattering, but not that big of a deal. Those chumps could get it because I'm better than them, because they're actors. I'm a god.
Just watched it before we came down. For it to be personalized to me.
Personalized to me, because, the other ones aren't, but yours is. Yours is.
I want to make sure people understand that I'm just the symbol of a much larger effort. You are our Lord and Master. You are absolutely the symbol of something great. We should put a crown on your head. I agree. The people who are around this table, who Rob, Melissa, Gareth, who were there every day, every public employee who is out there putting the numbers together. Note he said every public employee because the only people who matter are government. Don't forget that. That's all that matters. People who are government workers, they're the essential ones. Everybody else, every day. Yeah. And really the people of the state. Who thank you, Your Majesty. Made it work, right? Yeah. What they were saying on the presentation was, tell me. I gave facts. That's not true. They never mentioned my sense of humor. Because you don't have one. Nor did they mention any charisma. Because you don't have any. Or good looks. That's not true either. They didn't mention a lot of things. But they said I gave facts. Because none are true, right? So they wouldn't mention those because you don't have any of those. But you do have some facts. Not a lot, but you've got a couple and then you twist them effectively. So don't get mad. Look, they found the only thing that they could use to give you this so they could kiss your butt because they think you're going to become powerful in the future in the Democratic Party. So they've got to make sure that they have you on their side. So they bribed you by attacking your ego, which worked perfectly. Look at a smile on your face. So they gave you an Emmy so that you would treat them well in case things went bad, in case you became, God forbid, you became the Attorney General. They don't want you attacking their industry. So they bribe you
and they touch you right where they should, your ego, and you eat it up. Yeah, smart move. They didn't want to blatantly lie, so they couldn't say those other things like charm and good looks. You don't have any of that. So they said, well, he's got a couple of facts. Some of them are right, some of them aren't wrong, but whatever. We'll use that. That's what we'll use.
But
Tell me the but.
it's that New Yorkers responded.
We did respond. That's true. Begrudgingly, but we did. That's true.
And New Yorkers did respond.
We did.
And that's how you go from a 50% infection rate to a 1%.
But how'd we get the 50% infection rate up front? And then how'd it go so low? Could it be because somebody died because you sent them to nursing homes? Could that be the reason? I mean, that would, get rid of the infection rate because they'd be dead. So you could just do that. Oh, you did that. That's right. That's how you did it. By sending 7,000 people into nursing homes and killing them off, which helped to lower the rate. Makes sense. I'm with you. Locking people down, destroying entire areas. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm in.
Infection rate.
Got it.
And now you're at a 3% infection rate. And by the way, the parts of the country
Tell me.
that didn't have it in the spring,
Yeah.
they're now at 50% infection rate.
Like we were. Huh. Okay, so are we bad or are they? Who's bad? I don't know.
Wyoming, North Dakota. And
Yeah, but they're 50%. There's like 500,000 people in those states. There's 18 million in ours. So even 50%, well, that's bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anyone to die. There's more people on Staten Island than there are in Wyoming. So I don't know where you're going with that, you Staten Island people.
they're one of the lowest. It was really one of the most beautiful, effective.
That was so beautiful how you locked down everybody. And now I walk down my street in Queens and I mean this literally, can see 4 stores in a row open for lease or for rent because they're all gone. That's beautiful. Oh, you look now in Manhattan, which should be bustling like there's no tomorrow with holiday tourists, and there's like 8. Yeah, beautiful. You call that beautiful. I have people calling on each other like we're the East German Stasi. Yes, I said Stasi. The East German Stasi calling on each other. Oh, he's got 10 people in his house. It's beautiful. So beautiful. Glad you got that, Emmy.
Exercises of social action.
Social action. Staying home. Calling on your neighbor. Shaming people. That's some social action right there.
Right?
Yeah. You got me.
We did this first in the nation.
Tell me, what'd you do?
First state in the nation
To do what?
to have a mask mandate.
Mask mandate. But wait a minute. Now, you just told me literally 30 seconds ago, 20 seconds ago, this was beautiful. It was human action. We just did it. Social activity. Look at what we did. New Yorkers will do it. They all did it. But you had to have a mandate. What?
We're like 99% compliance with masks.
99% compliance. So you know what you need when you have 99% compliance with masks? Mandates.
Why? Because I made it a law?
Yes,
No.
but you didn't make it a law. It's a mandate. You don't make things law. That's not what you do. You think you do, but you don't because I know you think you're the God King. I get it. It's clear. We can all see it, but you're actually not. It's a mandate, not a law. Is that why we did it? Yeah, that's why I did it when I was in all those places upstate New York, because if I didn't put a mask on inside someone's facility, your goons would come by and shut them down, take away their liquor license, and destroy their livelihood. So I wore a mask to save them. Yes, I did because of your mandate. Yes.
Could never ticket. I think we gave out 10 tickets.
You can't ticket. Remember that. You can't ticket. I think we got 10 tickets. It's nothing. Oh, but you forgot removing licenses. You forgot shutting down businesses. You forgot shutting down pubs. You forgot shutting down restaurants. You forgot fining people for literally $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000 when they can't be at more than 25% capacity. That part you forgot. But you're right though. Not that many tickets, but everything else you could do to punish. Yeah, you did.
New York City, all they use is sheriffs now.
You sheriffs, those losers. They're almost as bad as people from Staten Island. They're not as bad as them. Staten Island's the worst, but sheriffs almost as bad.
It's not that we give tickets.
That's not
if you don't wear a mask.
Stupid. That's not why.
It was just social action. So
it was just social. We just felt it. And since so many people felt it, I decided make a mandate. How does that make sense?
Social behavior. People accepted it.
They accepted it.
That's what the Emmy's all about.
The Emmy's all about me forcing people to do stuff.
Beautiful to see what people can do at their best.
Yep.
How they can come together and how they can sacrifice.
How they can come together and sacrifice for my mandates, right? How my peasants can sacrifice for their king. That's a beautiful thing. I guess if I was a king, I would think the same way.
How good they can be.
They can be good.
Especially New York.
Yeah, New York will just kowtow to me in 5 seconds and keep voting me in, even though I keep giving them, I keep bending them over. They keep saying, thank you, sir, may I have another. It's a beautiful thing.
All the diversity.
Diversity.
Black, brown, gay, straight.
Look at how he says that. What I love about when he says this stuff is he's saying it because he knows he has to. He doesn't believe any of it. That's why he's like, just say it. Straight, black, brown. You can just say the words. You don't got to make you don't have to do that. Yeah, when you don't believe it and it's a lie, you kind of have to. When you think it doesn't actually matter and it makes no actual difference to you whatsoever, but you're just pandering, that's when you go to he does this. He doesn't just say it.
People can do at their best.
Yeah.
How they can come together and how they can
do the thing
and how good they can be.
Do that.
Especially New York.
Yeah.
All the diversity. Black, brown, gay, straight, LGBTQ, all this diversity.
All this diversity.
It's a problem everywhere else.
It's a problem everywhere else. So everywhere else, it's a problem. But New York, no problem. San Francisco, disaster. Hate gay people in San Francisco. Can't stand. Austin, Asheville, hate them. Hate black people too. Hate them. Just New York. Perfect. Love that. Well, because him.
Differences. No, commonality.
Commonality. My mask has solved racism. My mask has solved bigotry. Did I miss that in some way? I hope I'm not exaggerating. I think that's what he just said. No. Commonality. Look at this. That's what made it. Without this mask, there would still be racism. Now it's been solved.
Commonality.
See that?
That's what New York said. That's what won the Emmy.
That won the Emmy. The mask
So
did.
congratulations to New Yorkers, which I've always said.
Well, then give me Miami then. It's Miami. I'll take it. I'll show it off on this show like every day. It's Miami for wearing a mask. Racism solved.
Because it's New Yorkers who did it. Let's take one more.
One more. Do we have to?
What measures?
I will do more than one more. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, more than one more. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to punish you.
In the belt tightening.
This is the best one. He's talking about belt tightening. What are we going to do in New York State?
For states and cities, and could that even include?
He's saying how can we fix the budget, right, when it comes to states and cities, and what could it include to make this happen? What can we do to make this happen?
Maybe even job cuts in the public sector.
Job cuts, public sector. He brings up all these things.
If the federal government does not provide relief,
yep,
state and local aid, belt tightening, it would be going from a 42 to a 29.
See that? So if the federal government does, let me hold my mask up. I don't have a mask, but my mask solved racism. But can I solve everything else? No, not everything, I guess. So he says, belt tightening. The federal government has to give me money. I'm a great God king, but the federal government has to give me money.
Okay, to stick with your analogy. I don't really know the relevance of that, but it sounds good. 44 to a 29. Waste.
44 to 22. Waste. He had expressed 44 to 29 waste because I didn't know what he meant. With the belt tightening, I thought maybe it meant someone's neck. I didn't know. Thank you. Okay.
You would have to do tax increases.
This is how to solve the problem of the financial problem in New York State. The first thing he says, tax increase.
Government cuts.
Government cuts. So increase taxes and lower services. That's the first thing.
And borrow.
Borrow money, because you got to do that. That's how he balances the budget anyway. So, and borrow the money. So increase taxes, increase debt, lower services. That's what he said so far. Okay, keep going.
And layoffs.
Lay people off. So get rid of jobs. Boom, all gone.
And you would still have a long-term issue.
And still long-term
You'd have
issue.
to do all of the above.
All the above. I'm going to ask anybody, where was the growth part? He's got his hands closed, backed up. He's done. Where's the growth part? Where's the part where you say spur the economy on so that we could grow commerce and grow our tax base and bring New Yorkers back to New York? Where was that part? Yeah, nowhere. That's not even part of the plan, if there is a plan. That's not the plan. Let me give you the plan as it is right now. For those of you who are in New York, and guess what? It's not just New York. But New York, here's the plan. Biden, give me money. Done. That's the plan. Biden, give me money. Give me a bunch of money. Biden, give me money. That's the plan. That's it. Change nothing. Don't learn from our mistakes. Don't support small business. Don't even think about a tax cut or any way trying to get New Yorkers back to New York. Nope. The answer is Biden, give me money. And if you don't, it's your fault. That is his entire plan. That's our plan for New York State. Biden, give me money. I wish I was lying, but you heard him ask the question. Where was the growth part? It wasn't. I mean, do you think that we even want to try to grow this? Are we even trying to grow this thing? I would like to. You're going to be talking to your friends and family, I hope, during the holiday season. Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever the case may be. How are you going to bring this stuff up? How are you going to chat and talk about this? I mean, I want to keep going on what he says, and I will. But first, I'd like you to listen to this for just a couple seconds. Hey, Larry Sharpe, host of the Sharpe Way, and I know what you're thinking. Election's over. Holiday season is here. I've got to have conversations with family and friends after this. I know it can be tough. How do you restart that? How do you reconnect? It's all about respect, guys. It's about mutual respect, human respect, respect for our family and friends. Well, how do you rebuild that? How do you make that happen now? You find some common ground. How do you do that? You head on over to theadvocates.org, take the world's smallest political quiz. It's 1 minute, just 1 minute. You take that 1 minute, all of a sudden now, you now share that, send it to your friends. You start talking about things that matter to you, not about people you love, not about people you hate, but instead about issues that matter to you. Bring that back, have that common ground, find that mutual respect, find that human respect. Take this test and share it, theadvocates.org. That guy's smart. Listen to him. He's right. You should do that. Talk to your friends. Make some actual changes. Look, the biggest problem I have is there's no answer for growth. None. There's no answer for growth here in New York State. So what are you going to do? Keep giving out money until we go under? That's not an answer. That's not the answer. But that's the only answer that he has.
Let's say the number's about 50 billion.
Now, I want you to... He just said the weekend before, and I had on this show, and I called him out. And if you remember, if you happen to be watching, this is now Tuesdays with Andy every Tuesday. Last Tuesday, he said, the budget deficit is about 15 million. I said more like 50 or 60. And boom, now he said, let's say 50. Yeah, it is. It was $6 billion deficit before COVID. Now it's about $60 billion deficit now. That's how bad it is. Imagine having to give $50 billion to just New York State. There's 49 other states, plus District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, all those other places. How's the federal government going to bail everybody out? According to him, write a check.
Ray, go to the highest income tax in the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think it makes us? $1.5 billion.
He literally said, we have the highest income tax county in America. He said that proudly. Proudly, he said that. I would be ashamed if I was governor and I said that. I would tell nobody that. I would cover that up and try to fix that so fast so I'd never have to say that ever. He goes, what do we get? $1.5 billion. Chump change. Losers get that $1.5 billion.
2 billion tops.
Maybe 2 billion tops.
Highest income tax in America.
Hear that?
We're second highest now. We'd go higher than California.
Oh, we're second highest
2
now.
billion tops.
But he wants to go higher.
Okay. Now you need another 48 billion.
He's laughing at 48 billion. The idea of him actually cutting our budget or doing something that makes sense or raising money through some other means or drawing business back to our state, he's laughing at that. Who would do that? That's for idiots. We're going to raise your taxes, fire people, go into debt, give you less services, and shut up and take it. He's laughing.
So you have to do all of the above.
Put it another way, just how vital is that stimulus?
He says, his question is, to another way, how vital is that stimulus money from the federal government?
Oxygen.
He calls it oxygen.
It's oxygen. I had all the governors on the phone.
See, he had all the governors on the phone because he just, he's that powerful. He is the God King. So he had them all line up on the phone and they would all bow to him and he would then say things.
Chairman of the National Governors Association.
And they bow to him.
State.
Every state. Every state needs $50 billion. Oh, no, it doesn't, because most states don't even have a budget of $50 billion. Our budget is about $190 billion. And we're $50 billion in the hole just for 1 year. How incompetent can you be? Florida has more people than us, and their budget is half. Half. And they have no state income tax. Somehow they make it work. Okay, you may not like Florida, but fine. Half and no state income tax. They're doing something better than us, whatever that is.
And also, there's a broader point. One of the
Tell me the
governors
broader
said he was exactly right. We were briefing Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
If as goes the states, goes the nation.
As goes the
you
state,
can't
goes the
say to
nation.
50 states, go bankrupt.
You can't go to 50 states and say, go bankrupt. You can't do that. You can't do that. So his whole plan of how great he is just to collapse, be a terrible governor, be a terrible steward of our taxpayer money, of our fines and fees, of our pensions, of all we do, and go, what can he do? There's too many of us. He's got to pay us off. That's his plan. The guy's a mobster.
Without saying to the nation, go bankrupt.
He's smiling. Say,
It's
I got
a
you.
problem for every state.
My incompetence is a problem for every state. That's what it just said. My incompetence, that's everybody's problem. Yeah, it is. But wait, did you just say your actions affect other people? Remember? You do something bad. Now 30 people are killed because of your infection. I got an idea. You're a terrible governor. And now 50 states are affected because you're a terrible governor. I think you just got COVID.
They don't fund the states. I think you'll see a national recession.
So he just did another veiled threat. If they don't fund the states, you'll see a recession. He just told Biden, he just said it publicly, if you don't give me my money, I'm going to blame the recession on you. Nice guy, this Cuomo.
And do you really want me to lay off essential workers?
Hold on. Do you want me to lay off essential workers? Listen to what he says.
Who the essential workers are?
Who are they?
They're the teachers, the police, the healthcare workers who are supposed to be doing this new vaccine process.
But I thought the vaccine process is bad. So the essential workers are teachers, cops, and medical workers. No one else matters. They're the only ones. At what point did he mention the average people who pay the taxes? The average New Yorker? When were they mentioned? They don't matter. They don't matter.
Which is going to be an operational nightmare.
Of course. That only you can handle.
Governor, speaking of the vaccine, Operation Warp Speed.
He says, Governor, speaking of the vaccine, talking about Operation Warp Speed.
The head of it said that a vaccine could be ready as soon as December 11th for distribution.
A vaccine could be available as soon as December 11th for distribution.
What is the status of state efforts?
What's the status?
And has any thought been given to this idea of prioritizing vaccination?
Has any thought been given to the idea of prioritizing vaccinations
For people who are most at risk of spreading the virus compared to purely based on medical
and he
vulnerability?
talks about the idea of do we care about those who might spread the virus versus those who are most vulnerable, right? So we're giving it to people who are most vulnerable or to people who are most likely to spread. That's his question.
The prioritizations are done by medical personnel.
Wow, is that how?
You
Okay.
raise an interesting point. I don't know how you would determine.
So you hadn't thought of that. If you remember, he spent an entire press conference talking about, in the time of George Stephanopoulos, talking about how bad the plan was, Trump's plan, how terrible Trump's plan was. And the reason why people didn't want it is because of the distribution and the bad, horrible Trump plan. Now, this guy says, have you thought of this? Oh, that's a good point. Shit, I don't know. But his plan's better? You hadn't thought of that. That you hadn't thought of. But Trump's plan's terrible. Yours is good, though.
Well, you probably.
He's literally thinking of it now. He didn't know. No one asked him that question. He spoke like there was no tomorrow about, well, it's, remember this? You guys watch this one? Oh, yeah, the way the Trump plan is going to do it, it's going to avoid and it's going to ignore and purposefully hurt brown and black communities who were in these healthcare deserts that are somehow more than an hour away from a CVS. I don't know who that is. Remember the whole thing he made up? The whole thing. Brown and black community, people need it most. But you hadn't thought of this one. Whether the frontline workers who are more likely to spread it versus the people who are most likely to die from it. That you didn't think of. The most important thing of it all, that some reporter comes up with, you don't know.
Are hitting the same class. If
Oh,
you're
same
doing
class.
healthcare workers and essential workers, you're doing people who are coming in contact with the largest number of people, right? Essential workers are coming in contact with the people.
Oh, so essential workers are coming in contact with the people. My guru. Captain Obvious at work again. But he didn't ask that question. It doesn't necessarily mean that essential workers are most likely to die from it. It doesn't mean that. They're two separate people. So they aren't the same class. You just said that to sound like you're smart. You're not, but you try to sound like one.
With the public.
The current plan would just prioritize the frontline workers.
He's asking, are you going to be prioritizing frontline
Not
workers?
necessarily an essential worker at Starbucks or something.
And he then says, well, what about an essential worker at someplace like a Starbucks or something that meets lots of people in a retail store?
See lots of people, right?
Well, it depends on what, the first plan, the outline of the plan.
The outline of the plan.
The big question is how much product, how quickly.
Okay, he totally dodged the question because he doesn't know. And he doesn't respect the worker at Starbucks at all. Because the Starbucks worker is not a government worker, and only government workers matter. If you're not a government worker, you don't matter, unless you're from Staten Island, in which case you don't care about those people. But besides that, that's what he cares about. I don't know.
Are you going to be getting 1 million doses a month?
Tell me.
Are you getting 500,000 doses per month?
Okay.
And when you know the supply, you can come up with the actual.
Oh, so when you know how much you're going to get, you can figure out how to deliver it out. Oh, Captain Obvious, my guru. But he didn't ask that. He asked for a priority schedule, which you can have a priority schedule whether you get 10 or 10 million. That's irrelevant. That's the question he asked, but you can't answer because you don't know. Because all you know is Orange Man plan bad. That you're sure of. You're sure of Trump said it, therefore it's evil. You didn't pay attention to whether it actually works or not. You don't have your own plan because you were never going to have your own plan. You were going to tweak Trump's plan and say, instead of it going on Tuesday, it comes on Wednesday and call it yours. That's what you were going to do anyway.
Plan, specifics of the plan. But right now, the first priorities are people who are senior citizens.
Look at him just making this up.
People who are immune compromised.
Well, look at the nervousness as he plays with the mask, knowing that he has no idea.
And that's going to be the first tranche. Rob, do you have anything?
Yeah. Hey, Rob, help me with this one. Rob, you got something? I got nothing. Rob, throw something out there. I'm done.
Newer on that or different?
No, I think the numbers are, it really is going to depend on how much vaccine we actually get and then prioritizing. So we're building categories of people, right, based in those categories. But as the
We're building categories based upon those categories. He said nothing. Nothing. What that means is we haven't figured anything out yet. We don't know. We don't know. We just know Trump is bad. We're sure of that. He's evil, isn't he? Don't we hate that guy? That he's sure of. The rest, well,
governor said, it's going to come down to how much vaccine we get. And
why does how much you get matter? Are you gonna get 7? You know you're gonna get some. Prioritize, brother.
when?
Pharmacies have been a big,
Held two in-person fundraisers.
Now they're talking about fundraisers. People who are doing fundraisers for the mayoral candidacy, right? In New York City. They're doing fundraisers, doing some in-person fundraisers. And now they want to say, isn't that an evil thing? Aren't these people evil?
Fundraisers over the weekend. Do you think mayoral candidates should be?
Do you think they should be doing fundraisers over the weekend?
Spikes? And what examples do you think?
And what example should these people set?
Setting right now?
I think they should be setting the highest standards, and they certainly shouldn't be.
Oh, so they should be setting a high standard. You know, I thought you were going to say they should be setting a low standard. You are Captain Obvious, man. You're the best.
breaking the law, right? So
They can't break the law.
is the threshold.
The law is the threshold. So my mandate, my dictate is the threshold. I am the law, and they must follow my rule, my iron fist.
And I don't know what anybody did or didn't do, but if
ahead.
it violated the law,
Then what?
one of the sheriffs,
One of the sheriffs, one of those losers. You can see how he even says it. One of the sheriffs. Like he doesn't even get, they're elected officials. Ugh, sheriffs.
go give somebody a ticket.
I thought you can't ticket people. You just told me 10 minutes ago, we can't ticket people as you're waving your mask in the air. We can't ticket people. She go ticket them. I thought we don't do that. I thought it doesn't work. I thought that can't work. But in this case, if I punish a heretic, never forget, everyone, how his brain goes. I can punish a heretic. How dare you not listen to me? I will punish you.
And I think, if anything, they should be setting a higher bar.
Didn't answer the question.
Pretty much anywhere you go in the city today, you see long, long lines of testing
Pretty much anywhere you go in the city today, you see long lines for testing.
sites. CityMD is very popular because people like those 15-minute tests,
Yep.
and they have those now. But there are other sites as well, and there are long lines pretty much anywhere you look. Are there enough testing sites?
Are there enough
in
testing
the area?
sites?
Should there be more? And
Should there be more?
one test enough to go
Is
celebrate
one
Thanksgiving?
test enough to go off and hang out with your family?
Just so you know, we do more tests than any state in the United States. We have more. We do more testing pro rata.
Pro rata. Again, boy, does he sound smart. Pro rata. He's not playing games. That's a smart man right there, using Latin.
Than any state in the United States.
Uh-oh.
And we have more testing sites.
Yeah.
Pro rata
Pro
than any
rata.
state in the United States.
Yes. Not relatively. Pro rata. Were you guys impressed? You can Google that if you want to. That's Latin. That's a smart guy right there. Pro rata. Said it slow too to make sure. You can Google it. See how smart I am? More things in my state. Pro rata. I am a jerk. Pro rata. I lie all the time. Pro rata. Yes,
in
you
New
do.
York City, you have 420 testing sites.
Didn't answer the question at all. He just started throwing
420.
stats at her. Yet again, she asked the question, do we have
people
enough? Will we have enough?
Shop
He just throws
sites.
data at her,
And as you pointed out, certain people like one
as you pointed
shop.
out. So let me tell you what you said to me. I just say it back to you.
better than the other shop, or CityMD versus this one. But we have many of the 420 have no waiting lines at all.
See that?
Now, they're not the shop that you want to go to, then it's your choice. You can either wait on a line or go to one of the places that doesn't have a line.
So I can either wait in a line or I can go to another place without a line. Man, I'm so glad I asked you that question. I was wondering, what could I do? There's a place with a line and a place without a line. So I could wait in a line or not. Man, you are a great answerer of questions, Pro Rata.
Do you want to share any memories of Polly Trottenberg's time on the MTA board?
For those of you who don't know, Trottenberg just left the MTA, the disaster that it is. She just left it. So now she says, do you want to share any memories of her? Now that she's gone, Watch this one.
now that she's leaving her job as DOT commissioner?
No, I don't have any special memories.
Psh, screw that chick. That's what he just said. You're the boss. You're supposed to say something nice. He can't. He can't because the MTA is a disaster. It's his fault. He wants to blame her, so he will. So he can't say anything nice because they go, wait a minute, don't you like her? Say something nice, man. Just something. I remember when I met her, she was nice and whatever. Told me a cool story about her kids. Nope. Can't even do that. What a bad person. The MTA is broken. She's leaving. You can't say anything they're asking. Tell us a nice story. Nothing. I don't care about her.
So the state senate
That was the whole answer. Nah, nothing. Wow.
Democrats seem to have a supermajority. So how is that?
Now, for those who don't know, the Democrats now have a supermajority in New York State Senate. I know, surprising. New York State have a supermajority of Democrats? Wow. But yes, it's true. This deep blue state that we are, supermajority in the Senate. And now, in theory, the Senate can now overturn his veto. If he vetoes something, the Senate has enough power to overturn him now if they wanted to.
Change the power balance between you and
And
the
she
legislature?
says, has that changed the power balance between you and the Senate? Watch this answer.
Since they have the power to override.
They can override your veto.
vetoes, like, raising taxes on the super wealthy.
Like you want to put tax on the super wealthy, they could stop you?
Well, two things. The way the state government really works is through the budget.
So he literally just said, the way the state government works is through the budget. Our governor just said that our assembly doesn't matter. He just said that. She said they have a supermajority. They could block your veto. He said, doesn't matter. He just said it. Again, he doesn't even try to hide it. He's like, I run this state. I am their king. I will submit a budget. They will say yes. There's no veto. That's how we do it. We move everything in the budget. That's what we do in New York State. We move all our laws through the budget. Then that's how you run things. And then some commissions set up. There's no law. There's no way of us having any recourse. That's how we run. That's how we run New York State. He just submitted it.
All the main things are done in the budget.
Yep. Who cares?
And
Laws, that's for chumps. We don't do laws. We don't vote on stuff. We don't have accountability. We don't do that stupid stuff here in New York, okay? We just put stuff in the dark of night through budgets and pass laws that way. Stop complaining. I'm your king.
supermajority or not.
Look at that, supermajority or not. So they could, so you peasants think they can stop me. Supermajority or not. He's not even hiding.
Doesn't really make a difference.
How many governors would openly say supermajority doesn't make a difference? I control the state. I am the state.
And I can't think of a situation where every Democrat in the Senate, the senators are individuals.
Oh, is that right? I thought they were all part of the Borg. They're individuals. Okay. I thought it was like one blob called the Senate and like people were like stuck in there and stuff. So they're individual people. My guru. Look at you, Captain Obvious.
They're not really a monolith.
Oh, they're not.
Or sheep.
They're not sheep. I'm not sure about that one, but fine.
So I don't think there's ever been a situation where I disagreed with every Senate Democrat.
Okay.
And you have to remember, Senate Democrats.
Tell me.
Not just that they're not sheep. They represent.
They're not sheep. Okay.
Represent different parts of the state.
Oh, so senators represent different parts of the state. Wow, I'm getting a lesson here. Is that how representative democracy works? Is that how the assembly, so other parts of the state get representation? Is that how it works, Captain Obvious? Okay.
You have senators from Buffalo.
Buffalo gets senators. Oh, that's good. How about Long Island?
Senators from Long Island.
Long Island gets them too.
And those are the places that I represent also.
Oh, you represent those places too as governor. Do you see how he doesn't even answer the question? He just repeats obvious facts and treats you like you're an idiot because he believes you're an idiot. He's not doing this because he thinks he's saying something smart. He's doing this because he thinks everybody else is stupid.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you're right. That's true.
What was your point?
He doesn't even remember the point. Why? It doesn't even matter. He looks down and away because he's so dismissed of this crazy woman asking him questions. What's your point?
You want to make that point? Yeah, why
No,
don't you
I
make
was
it?
just going to say, and I think that this is a little bit much ado about nothing. We fought to elect these candidates. The governor endorsed up
We fought to elect these candidates. You elected them.
and
You did.
down. We fundraised for them.
Yep.
We've got personal relationships with many of them.
You mean they're in
and
your
we
pocket?
were thrilled when a bunch of the members that looked like on election night they weren't going to make it have now pulled through. So this is great news.
Great news.
I supported them all and worked very hard to elect them.
Of course you did.
Construction workers showed up during this pandemic.
All right, I'm gonna let us go. There's just bad stuff, but you guys get what I'm talking about, right? You get where this guy goes. Let me grab some comments. You have so many, and thank you so much for all the comments you guys gave. I want to keep going. Yes, you bought these candidates. Yes, they already bought and paid for these candidates, so they were pissed off when. Wait a minute, I bought this candidate. He didn't get elected. I put a lot of money into this. Absolutely, yes. Not cheap. Just yeah, I'm with you on that one, Rebecca. They kind of are. Absolutely, yes. People need not to be sheep to Cuomo. I would agree completely. Absolutely. Upstate did not vote for him. Actually, Alice, upstate did. The cities did, right? Buffalo did. Syracuse did. Rochester did. Albany did. Ithaca did. Utica did. The cities upstate do vote for him. It's true. They absolutely do vote for him. I wish it wasn't true, but man, they do. Yes. We need a Cuomo pro rata meme ASAP. Yes, pro rata. That's what he needs. Absolutely. I love that. Israel and India created a 30-second test that has virtually 0% false positive rate. The FDA said they will look into it within 9 to 12 months from now. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Larry Sharpe, you're making my evening after a crappy day. I needed a conversation. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is becoming Tuesdays with Andy. He just keeps saying stuff. I can't believe this. Yes. This is a lie. I've been trying to get a test for over a week and it ain't available. Pro rat's ass. Yes, Shelly, that's my point. Everywhere you go, it's around the corner. And he's like, and just get a test. Just get one. Remember before when he said, you need a job, get a job as an essential worker. Just get one. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Yes, it's terrible. Yes, it's terrible. Well, I've made somebody laugh. Thank you so much, Real Map. I appreciate that. I'm trying to do that. Cuomo looks like a regal matador dodging questions. That's true, right? Exactly right. He's like, oh, but I see it, right? I see it so much. They just don't answer questions. They dodge. Absolutely. Happy as hell. Sheriffs came out refusing to enforce. 10 people took a limit. His ego took a huge hit on that one. It did. He didn't like it. And the thing that I keep bringing up, right? And there was a sheriff I think I brought up. Was it yesterday? I think I brought up yesterday's show. How does a sheriff decide to go into somebody's house? Only 3 ways a sheriff can go into your house. 1, you agree. You consent. You go, yes, sheriff, come on in, right? That's option 1. Option 2, he's got some real probable cause, right? There's gunshots or someone screaming. There's a report of kids on fire. Okay, go in the house, please. There's real probable cause someone's being hurt. Absolutely okay. Or last, a warrant. What judge is going to sign a warrant on a non-law, on some mandate that has no punishment? What's the punishment? Fine him? How much? $1 million? $10? Whatever the sheriff wants? How do you do that? What judge? Yeah. 11 people? Fine him $10,000. There's your warrant. Go in and start counting heads. Is that what you're going to do? Do kids count? Do babies count? It makes no sense. It's another way of just trying to be a mean guy. Absolutely. So, most of his law break the law. That's true. Absolutely. Most do. Absolutely. They don't want to say that black and brown people are in that priority list for getting the vaccine next because they have been getting pushback for that. Yes, and he's pandering. That's my point. You can tell he's pandering. Absolutely. You can tell he's pandering. And that's the sad part. You can absolutely tell. Let's see. What's the proposed libertarian solution for this sort of issue? I struggle with this. I believe people should be allowed to make poor decisions, but the problem is that their poor decisions create and I'm assuming there's something bad, drain the system. Yes. Yes, that's true on everything. War on drugs is that also. But for those of you who actually care to be forward with you, head over to my Sharpe Way YouTube page. At the bottom of that page is a playlist which says something like COVID answers or something like that. It's 10 videos, Rich. I gave exactly how to solve all these problems 9 months ago. Sorry, no, 8 months ago, not 9, 8 months ago. All of it. It's not Monday morning quarterbacking. I said it's up front. If you care, I don't know how much you care about this, but if you do, watch those. They're not that long. They're like 10 to 20 minutes long each. There's 10 of them, though, so there's a lot of them. But it goes right down the list. How to solve all. You got to pay for it. It's all there. I took a lot of time to make that happen because I knew people would ask exactly that question. They are still putting COVID-19 patients in nursing homes. Yes, this is true. They are. They're still doing it. Absolutely. And I guess that'll be your fault. I don't know. It won't be his. That's for sure. Trump bad, math bad, people bad, cops bad. Yes, that they're sure of, Shelley. They don't know how to move stuff around, but they know anything Trump says, that's by default bad. He can't say anything that's good. It is by default bad. Seeing this dumbass makes me say, thank God I don't live in New York. But we do, David. We're trying to fix things. You might think you've escaped, but you haven't. Because if we don't fix New York, guess what? It's coming to you. Yeah, it is. It's coming to you. You got to help us fix New York so it doesn't come to you. Absolutely. It's coming to you. So I get it. Yes. Cuomo, we're not listening to your bantering of who is essential and who isn't. You were not essential. Thank you, Andrew. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. I like these reporters. They're trying. But the problem is if you're too mean to him, he yells at you. I'm not joking. He just dismisses you and he yells at you. Absolutely. Yes. There we go. Thank you. He knows. He's going to blacklist that reporter. You're right. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's what he does. Right? He is going to do that. Absolutely. It is terrible that you know that's true. I wish you didn't know that's true. But yes, absolutely. Yeah. Once government obtains more power, it's nearly impossible to get it back. 100% true. Yes. I think he truly believes he's the best person to sashay around on the earth and that we should all bow and be grateful for the honor of hearing him. Missy, yes. It's obvious, isn't it? That's exactly how he feels. He thinks he's the king. He says it openly, right? Basically, he says, not exactly those words, but I'm your king. Absolutely. I'm your king. Yes. That's the worst. All right. I guarantee Trump was buttering up with Cuomo 20 years ago, despite how much he doesn't know. Yeah, I'm sure they were buddies then because they were writing checks to each other. Of course. Well, actually, Trump was writing checks to him. For the same reason why Cuomo got an Emmy, right? The entertainment industry, they want to make sure they butter up Cuomo so he won't come after them if he winds up being attorney general or has any power or control. Butter him up, give him a little bit, shut him up, affect his ego. Well done. You think Trump didn't do that too? He wasn't writing him checks. Oh, you're the smartest guy, Cuomo. Of course he was doing that. He didn't want to get hammered when he was in New York. Of course. I got to be forward. If I was some rich guy doing business like that, I might too. I don't know. I might do that. Who knows? So, Sharpe 2022. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. So we can borrow our way around the recession. John, I think he believes so. I think he believes so. But you and I both know that's a Band-Aid. Can it work temporarily? Absolutely. 100%. It can work temporarily. And then at one point, you got to pay up, right? At one point. But look, if you're just looking for a couple of years to just keep it good till you win your next election, it may not be a bad idea, right? He's only got to hold on for 2 years before he gets elected again. So he could try that maybe. We'll try that. He is either incompetent or corrupt or both. I mean, we could do both, right? I'm just saying we could. Absolutely. So, all right. Cuomo, the God King, bow before Xerxes. Yes, I know. Yes. I mean, he does think he's the God King. He thinks he's bigger than Xerxes, without question. Yes. He's the worst. I don't understand why New York City is so in love with him. You know, New York City is scared of Republicans. That's it. They're scared of Republicans. And he says enough of the good stuff to make people go, okay, he's not one of them. Most people I know, even those who vote for Cuomo, don't actually like him. They don't like him at all. They just deal with him because they think he's better than a Republican because Republicans are somehow evil. So that's what they believe. I think most of them do that. I really do. All right, let's see if I can grab a couple of these if I can. Larry, what motivated you to get into politics? Was single issue or the big broken picture, by the way? No, actually, I got in because I was going to move out of New York State. For those who don't know, I was going to move. I was going to move out down to North Carolina. I was going to move to right outside of Charlotte. And the reason why is I need a big city to do what I do, right? For me to consult with large organizations, That's most of my business. That's my bread and butter. That's how I pay my bills, is consulting with big business. I need a large city that has lots of big businesses. Charlotte was that. New York City was killing me. So I said, I got to get out of here. And I went to Charlotte, and it was amazing. Cheaper, lower taxes, big business was there. Not as big as New York City, obviously, but still big business. I could sell my house here in Queens and buy a mansion outside of Charlotte, pay less taxes, have a bigger house, more land, everything great, lower taxes. I got angry. And I said, why does my state suck so much? Why do I have to leave the place that I'm born, raised, have my friends, my family, my business? Why do I have to leave? Why does my state suck so much? Knowing that my state is a beautiful state. For those of you who live in New York, you know what I'm talking about. New York State's an amazing state with everything you could possibly imagine it. From the largest city in the country to Niagara Falls, to beautiful lakes, to beautiful forests, to awesome mountains. Whatever's your thing, New York State has it, and it's beautiful. We love our state. We just hate our government. If we could change our government, New York State would literally be a paradise. You can go any place you want in this state and get any beaches. We got that. You name it, we got it here. Baseball Hall of Fame, history, we got it here, right? Statue of Liberty, Broadway, New York Yankees, everything you want, you could possibly enjoy is here, right? Culture, woods, hiking, skiing, got it all. This state is amazing. Our government's garbage. What motivated me was recognizing that and saying, I got to do something. So I said I couldn't leave without trying to fix things. That's how I got in. It's literally that simple. I got mad. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but yeah, yes. So I agree 100% with the sheriff's departments who refuse to obey Cuomo's Thanksgiving laws. Mandates. Yes. So he was writing that reporter's name down when he put his head down. Yes, he was. He was like, I'm going to get you. I'll teach you a lesson. Absolutely. I'll teach you a lesson. 100%. Yes. All right. Let's see here. You say that is happening there will eventually come to us. If New York crashes, does it never get to us? No, it does, right? And that's kind of his point. That's his threat. His threat, John, is that. His threat, if that one state goes under, the rest will begin to go under because the federal government can't bail them all out, and the federal government will itself have to go bankrupt, right? His point is the federal government will have to eventually default, which will affect all the states, obviously, because it affects the dollar. That's his threat, basically. The odds are New York will not be the first state to go under. Probably the first one to go under will be Illinois. Probably. Once Illinois goes under, then the rest will just follow, unless you just keep writing checks. And that, I think, is his concern. Even if the bankruptcy doesn't happen, doesn't get to your state, the people who will run away from New York will come to your state because they're going to leave New York because it's going to be bankrupt. It's already happening. You can see the blueing of the country. Is that a word? I just made that up. You can see the blueing of the country as New Yorkers and Californians flee from these horrible states and go to other states and try to make them bad because they don't know any better. Let's teach them better. Teach them better. Let's fix this so that they don't. We want everyone to be better. We want everyone to be better. Not just New York, of course, but everyone. I don't just want, 160,000 libertarians. I want 330,000 libertarians in America. I'm greedy. I want them all. I don't want to fight the left or fight the right because someone's going to lose that battle. I want to convert them all. I follow the old Abraham Lincoln adage. If I make my enemy my friend, haven't I destroyed my enemy? Yeah, I have. Absolutely. Yes. Andrew, being an upstate New Yorker, New York is a majestic state. Yes, Andrew, you are correct. It is. There is everything you want is in this state. Absolutely. 100%. Whatever you like, whatever's your thing, it's here. Guaranteed. I'll stand fine. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. We're still here. Yes. Incredible and inspiring. I think we're fighting for liberty. We're trying. We are trying. We're still here. Absolutely. Thanks for answering, not for personal gain, but to make things better for others, wish more were drawn to politics for altruistic reasons. I'm not sure that was altruistic, to be forward with you, Steve. I love what you're saying, but I didn't want to move. Is that altruistic? It's kind of selfish. It kind of is, but I can't do it by myself. I can't magically change this state. I need others to change. I need others to assist. It can't just be me. Absolutely. So 300,000 already left New York. That's just this year. Is that right? That's this year. There's 1.5 left before this year. So I don't know how many more have left. But so say 300, that's 1.8 million then. 1.5 million left New York State before COVID. So I don't know what that number is now. Probably you're right. That makes sense. The 300,000, probably true. There's probably tons, right? Probably tons. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, I want to say thank you so much for this evening. I hope I was both enlightening and entertaining. I hope it was good for you guys to watch my horrible governor and maybe see some of your governors in it too. As always, please like, comment, share. Absolutely. And of course, if you can support the show, please do so. Patreon.com/SharpeWay. Keep me up and running throughout the holiday season. If you got the big bucks, you're a Cuomo lackey or one of those guys, his crony, throw me $100 a month if you got that kind of cash. You don't have it, no worries. $10 is fine too. 25 is fine also. Whatever you can do per month is awesome. I appreciate it. And if you can't do that, then please support my sponsors. Head over to theadvocates.org and share that with your friends and family, or head over to Grown Selection, purchase some cool CBD products, Sharpe Way 20 for 20% off. Guys, have a great night. I will see you all tomorrow.